Brothers and sisters, we have a very special episode tonight. My first podcast with my wifey. And let's do this. Okay. I just have deja vu. Because I did have a dream about this. Alright, first pack. Okay. So we're going to tell you the story of how me and wifey met. So
it was an anonymous thing.
Yes, it was anonymous. But I'm going to tell you how it all started.
It was a blind date.
Let me tell you how it started. It started like this. It was a beautiful day, very hot like the one today. And
he came right out of the water. He was a fish monster.
That's not true. I'm going to tell him a story. So I get to the beach. I'm like, bro, let me use your surfboard, dog. He's like, all right. So I go out there. I caught a couple waves. I'm like, well, this is fun. It wasn't really that fun. The waves kind of sucked. So I'm like, I'm going to get out of the water.
The waves sucked.
Okay. My little parakeet over here. So anyways, I get out the water, and what do you see as I get out of the water? I'll tell you what I see.
My friend Brian was surfing, and I went there to go see him surfing because I was walking, and my husband walks out of the water saying, "You want to sit next to me?"
That's not true. That's not what happened. I get out of the water and she's
like,
sitting in my spot. She's sitting in my spot, and I'm like, by the way, this is our very first podcast. There are many yet to come. She's sitting in my spot. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing right where I was? Like, I knew she knew where I was, right? So, and I was like, okay. I'm like, what? I'm like, who are you? I'm like, what did I say? I don't remember what I said. I was like, oh, can I sit next to you? I was like, you're in my spot.
You were like, you want to come sit next to me? And I have guys hit me all the time, so I was like, okay.
Shut up. She's lying.
And then
that's not what happened. That's not what happened. She was sitting down.
I asked my friend Brian. I was like, "Do you care if I go home with this guy?" And he was like, "No, you can do it."
This is not even.
And then the first night I ever spent this. Anyways, like, if you don't have a dad that's gonna take care of you and protect you, you might as well have a friend that does it.
That is Brian.
That is Brian.
So, okay, so that's not, okay, now this is my side of the story. This is what really happened. So, she's sitting where I'm sitting, I'm like, I'm gonna sit next to you because you're sitting where I'm sitting. And, like, she kind of just looked at me, and she had these weird googly eyes, and she's looking at me, I'm like, okay.
I did have googly eyes.
She still does. And it was, like, really strange at the moment, right? And then... And then we talked. I'm like, let me get your number. And then we walked up to where the cars were at. I'm like, hey, do you want to come to my house? She's like, yeah. She was all stoked. I remember she was really excited to come to the house. Weren't you? Yes, she was.
Yeah.
And then so she came to the house. And wait, there's more. We came here where we're sitting. We had a fantastic conversation. Homeboy.
The thing is, there's lots of hurricanes in Florida, and they're like, "I can kill you," and they happen every couple years.
Calm down. So we get back.
That's why all these girls are slutty here in Florida.
They are slutty here in Florida.
You come to Florida and you with all these.
She's not a slut though.
Because every couple years, hurricane comes that can kill you, and you're like, "I just live here."
All right. All right. Okay. A lot of sluts here in Florida. Everybody's aware of that. Of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then. She comes here, we have a couple drinks, and I didn't kiss you or nothing, and then you came over like next day. Oh wait, maybe you did. And I'm pretty sure you slept over.
He wasn't that hard on me.
I wasn't what?
He wasn't that hard on me.
No, I was not. I was very nice. And she spent the night for the next few nights, and well.
He was beautiful.
So then a month goes by, right? A month actually flew by, and like. You know, I think we had sex. Yeah, we did. We started having sex, but it was like after 2 weeks, and then she's like, I love you. I was like, I have love for you. And then another month goes by, and her sister's like, do you love her? I was like, no, I'm not gonna say I love her. And then 3 months go by, and I was like, you know what, Holly? I said to her, I said, I love you so much. I was like, I fucking adore you. It took me 3 months.
I want to show you my nipples because.
Don't play.
It's
you can't
too
do
hard.
That. You did not do that. You just ruined the video. Did you do that?
So he's so cute, and he says, like.
You did not do that.
That I say I'm so horny.
Nah, you're stupid. Let me tell you the rest of the siege.
And
you did not show any boobs. Okay, so what was I getting at? So then 3 months go by, and I'm like, she told me she loved me.
You just say me so horny.
So, as I was saying, she told me she loved me, and I'm like, no, I have love for you. And then finally I was like, I had so much love for her, and then like ever since like we've been together for almost 6 months now, and like my love like goes so deep with this woman, like you don't understand. Like,
have you ever watched Harry and the Hendersons? Because I grew up watching that, and they just hit some Bigfoot guy, and then they take him home, and then they're like,
yeah,
oh, I'm so cool, I have Bigfoot in my house. You know.
Alright, next topic.
So I thought it'd be cool if...
Hurricane stories. Let's tell them your hurricane story. And quit talk normal.
I see all these hurricanes happen all the time, right? And
yeah.
like, oh, we can die, but it's so beautiful. But when our house, and it's hurricane proof, and you see the wind go like so fast, so fast, so fast.
It's so stupid.
And it's like, you know, it could kill us. It could kill us if we were outside.
Okay, what did it sound like? Tell them about the hurricane.
If we were outside, it could kill us. Or we can just hang out with our friends, have a hurricane party.
That's what I'm talking about. Tell them about the hurricane party.
I remember a hurricane party where we ordered Hungry Howie's, and it was so fun.
Yeah, I remember
so many
hurricane.
memories that I don't remember.
Yeah, because it was a hurricane party, and we get fucked up. Let me tell you about my hurricane party.
And we're gonna have a baby.
We are.
And we're gonna get married together.
We are. And what was I gonna say? My hurricane party was like this. There's a category 3 that came through. Actually, 2 came through or 3 came through in the same year of 2006, right? And one of them was a category 3, and that bitch was strong, and right. And we were bolted down in a house, a big house, and the wind was irking this house, and it was at like midnight. So I was drinking with my mom and her friend. I was getting all like trash with them, and
twisted.
That's right, twisted. And then after the hurricane was over, the power was out for like 3.
You see Hallmark's Slutty Clothes? It's the banks who talk, and you know.
The power was out.
Hot, so it's
the power was out for.
We have to wear slutty clothes.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're in Florida.
Weather.
We're in Florida.
It's Florida.
The power went out, right? The power went out for 3
Some people think it's slutty
3
when
weeks.
it's just hot outside.
Yeah, well, no, it's not true. They don't live in Florida, probably.
Yeah.
So the power went out at my house for 3 weeks, but we had a generator, so all we could do, we didn't have any air, and it was like this hot inside, probably more hot inside. Anyways, all we could do is watch movies on the stupid generator. There's nothing special about it, but you know, it was pretty cool.
I moved to Tennessee and watched all these surf videos I never saw before because I'm too busy surfing in Florida that I won't watch these videos until I'm...
Alright, tell them some embarrassing stories and talk normal.
Alright, you know what's embarrassing?
Tell me a really embarrassing story.
Something about my imagination, right? Imagination station.
Oh,
I thought I had no friends.
You probably didn't.
That I had a lot of friends that I hung out with, but I thought I didn't have friends. So I watched Barney.
Tell me something I don't know.
On the TV, and
How
I
old
was
were you?
like, I'm gonna learn how to make friends. I was pretty old. I was probably like 21, 22.
You watched Barney?
And I watched Barney, even though I had a lot of friends. I didn't feel like I had a lot of friends, so I would watch Barney.
Are you being serious?
Time. Because we only had like 3 channels, and one of them was Barney.
That's not. I guess that's kind of an embarrassing story.
Not
Okay.
everyone likes me.
Here's my embarrassing story. Let me think of one. I got a lot, probably. Alright. Embarrassing fucking story. Let me see here. Do you have another one that you can...
Okay, yeah. What about when you're studying radiation and you know radiation can kill you or it can cure you? Radiation comes from the sun and the ground.
Alright, here's an embarrassing story.
What if it's
2
all
weeks
over
ago,
the
hold on,
camera
2 weeks
and
ago.
then it's sparkly and
2
you see
weeks
all the
ago.
colors?
2 weeks, here's the embarrassing story. She was with me. I'm driving the car, right? And I was chilling. I was not drunk or anything, right? And I'm pulling into a parking lot, and I slowly turn the wheel as I park, and I go, boom! I barely tapped into this fucking car.
Is it gross and
Shush! I tapped into this car. Stop.
To show everyone my body without...
I tapped into this car, right? And this guy looks at me, he goes, "You're too fucked up to be driving." I'm like, "What are you talking about, man?" I'm like, "Call the cops." He's like, "No." He's like, "How much money will you offer me?" I was like, $100. And then so he put his mask on, and we went to the bank, and I gave him $100, right? Just to make him shut the fuck up. Yeah, I was embarrassed as fuck for hitting his car, but she was with me, and she had my back. And that's the reason why love is so important. Let me tell you the importance of love. Like,
it was my money. But
it had to be at the time.
We're gonna go with Disney World, make up for that.
Mm-hmm. And you're paying? Just
okay.
Like, I'll pay.
I can make money from a stir.
Alright, let me think of another embarrassing story. I got some good ones.
I get always offered to be a prostitute for money.
Don't tell people that. But yeah, she does. She wouldn't do it. Now you know. And she has a big bladder mouth. Think of another embarrassing story. I got an embarrassing story for her. So she's sitting there yapping at me one night, bitching, right?
I don't want to go to prison.
Shush, don't talk like that. Anyway, she's yapping, and she was like being a complete bitch. And I looked down on my phone because I'm listening to music, right? And it was Justin Timberlake, "What Goes Around Comes Around," right? And I look up at her and I just smile, I'm like, whatever. And she looks at me, right? And she looks at me, and she gives me this look, and she keeps staring at me, and she thinks the door's open over here, and the door was closed, and they're like hurricane-proof doors, and she goes she went head first.
I don't mind dying during a hurricane.
Hey. She went head first into the door and split her. She went whap, dude. She she went head first into it. Like she thought she was going inside. Dude, she split her nose. And when she split her nose, I started cracking up, right? Cause I just couldn't believe I just saw it. And then she's bleeding everywhere, and my mom was trying to help her because my mom was here at the time. And then I seen that.
She gave me a Band-Aid.
No, 2 Band-Aids. Remember? Because the commercial that came out, she's like, "Get her 2 Band-Aids." She's like, "I'm bleeding." Stop. My mom's like, "She's bleeding really bad." I'm like, "Give her 2 Band-Aids."
And then he was like, "Me and my brother always smash into that sliding glass door."
Oh yeah, no, not that one. But so
that's why
that's true.
she started putting stickers on the sliding glass door.
Yeah, that is a true story. Speaking of embarrassing story from my brother, he used to walk outside. I know. And he would walk outside, and one time he almost jumped 3 stories off the balcony. And he used to almost jump 3 stories off the balcony because.
Should I cover up my titatas?
Quit playing.
Because if you show all your tatas.
Stop. Okay, so how about some crazy exes?
Crazy exes.
I go first. I had a woman in my life named Ebony. I call her Ebenezer Scrooge. She is a fucking nutcase, okay? Stalker, and she's a crazy ex, dude. When I say crazy, dude, the fucking girl is off her fucking rocker. Now let me tell you about how fucking crazy she is. She's a stalker, you know. So here's a little story for you. She stalked me so bad.
I don't think all men are stalkers.
Yeah, I know they're not. But she is a stalker. It's women that are stalkers. And she was a fucking stalker. So what'd she do? She made a bunch of profiles when I was trying to go on Tinder after we broke up, and decided that she was going to harass my life and make sure I never had a girlfriend again.
He always goes on Tinder.
Yeah, that's not true. She's lying to you. Anyways, so she made a bunch of profiles, and dude, she still stalks me.
I don't go on Tinder.
I don't either, dummy. Stop. But anyways, she made a bunch of profiles, right? And she was...
I never go on the internet.
Yeah, we both don't. We don't use Facebook or she uses Instagram. I used to use it until I just really don't give a fuck. But, you know. Anyways, that's one of my... Oh, yeah, I had a crazy ex named Lana. That bitch was crazy. But she had reasons to be crazy. Although, not to the extent that she was. Maybe I was a little crazy back, so let's just say we're both guilty. Let's tell them about one of your exes.
Alright, so my exes are crazy that in a mental telepathy way that they always get me fired. They could call and complain and say my name.
Oh yeah, I was telling you about Lana.
I suck, and then all of a sudden I'm fired. And like, it's not fair.
Okay, keep going.
You can, if you cannot like your ex, you can get them fired all the time. Right and left, you just call. Whoa.
What?
This is my husband, and
Hey, say what?
you have fun doing whatever you want to do.
What?
But I know I've had fun visiting pony ranches and horse ranches, and even almost. What
the hell are you talking about? We're talking about exes.
All my exes go to Texas.
Okay, let me tell you about ex Lana.
I have exes, but
by the way,
they
she's Lana Del Rey.
Except for
Tom.
I know that I could pee in a border potty and put a needle in my arm and.
They don't say that. Don't say that. She never have. No, she doesn't do that. I used to shoot up. I'm not going to deny it.
If you have an ex that's not your official ex, that's just your friend, that you fucked, no problems there, right?
Yeah, sure. Anyhow, back to my crazy ex, Lana. So let me tell you a couple stories about her. So she was a really bad alcoholic, and she was best friends with my sister. Let me tell you, my fucking sister's off her fucking rocker, dude. She's a bitch too. So I would wake up, I'd go to sleep. If they started drinking, I'd want to be well away from them, right? And so I would go to sleep, and I'm sleeping safe and sound, and all of a sudden, whap! And I'm seeing stars, dude, in my sleep, and I'm like, wake up to stars. And I look up, I'm like, why you hit me, dude? And she go, whap! She kept fucking punching me in my temple. True story. And another time, I went to jail for this one. Check this out. Same thing happened. This is the second time it happened. I don't think I told you the story. So I went downstairs, right? I had a 3-bedroom.
It is okay to jump off the ceiling into the pool.
Yeah, I've done it. So anyways, I went to we're on the bottom floor, right? And I'm sleeping, and she comes in, and she starts fucking pounding on my head, right? I'm like, what the fuck